Hi developers, I'm Hossein Dilla, Microsoft MVP. Today we will learn how to use Microsoft Cognitive Services with Xamarin Forms. So Microsoft Cognitive Services is a set of API that relies on artificial intelligence to analyze images and videos. It can detect objects and people inside images and videos. That means for the person it can detect the faces, it can detect the age and their gender. Today we will build an application that uses this API to make our application better. So let's get started. So here I have a sample of the application that we want to build. Here you see I can have a picture and I can call the cognitive services or the computer vision exactly API to analyze a certain image. So here I have picked this image from the web and they can go and hit analyze image URL. This will call the computer vision API and get information about the image I have here. And because this is a Xamarin Forms application, it works on Windows, Android and Windows 8 and of course iOS. I have added some other couple of options here. Instead of only having you putting a URL of a certain image, I can also go to take a photo or pick a photo to be analyzed using the computer vision API. So let's try to take a photo, for example. So here if I choose this photo here from this angle, for example, let's hit OK. And now let's try to analyze this image. Here because I have two buttons. The first one is for analyzing the images online, call it analyze image URL, and here because I have taken a picture in my phone, so I'll go to analyze an image using a stream. We'll see what that means later. So here this is the response coming from the server. Here it tells me that this is a train on the floor. The description not always exactly, but we can go and try to pick some other photos. So let's try, for example, to get let's get this photo. Let's try now to analyze this image stream. And here you see the description coming from the API. It tells that this is a man riding a bicycle in a parking lot, which is almost exact. Here I get some other couple of options from the API. Here it can tell that if this is an adult content and is racy content, you see these values are false. I get also some tags to help me understand the what is inside this image. Let's try with another photo. Let's try this one, for example. Analyze. And here, with the caption and with the tags, it provides also the age and the gender of the people that were detected in this image. And you see here, for each one I get his age and his gender. So now let's try to build the code that can run this application. I switch here to Visual Studio, and here I have created a new Xamarin Forms application by going to File, New Project, and choosing Cross-Platform under Visual C#. Then here choosing blank XAML app, the template that I used to start this project. This project gives me a portable PCL project than an Android, iOS, and Windows platforms projects. I'll be focusing all my code in the portable class library. For that, here, instead of having me typing all the code needed for this demo, I'll go and install a plugin or a NuGet package available online by going to my portable project and selecting here Manage NuGet Packages. Here let's go to Browse and make sure here we are inside nuget.org and look for a plugin called plugin.computer-vision. Let's install this version 1.0.0. Click OK. I accept. So this plugin will help me providing all the source code that I need to use Microsoft Cognitive Services. And here it installed all these folders for me. And before seeing everyone, let's here complete the installation, because here I have an important note saying that I have to install also the xam.plugin.media NuGet package inside my entire solution, because the application we have built today uses accesses the camera and accesses also the photos library, which are accessed using the xam.plugin.media NuGet package. For that, let's go to the solution, manage NuGet packages for solution, and click browse and look for our xam.plugin.media and make sure here that it will be installed inside all my projects targeting Xamarin Forms. Hit install. So that the plugin is installed, now I can go to back to my README file here that tells me how to use this plugin. So here I only need to go to the app.xaml.cs and copy this code there. So I'll go to app.xaml.cs, and instead of using this default main page, I'll go to use my computer vision page, which is provided inside this view folder here. So let's try to understand this code. Let's try to understand how the computer vision API works. So the most important part of this is the services folder in which I have my computer vision service. This one will act like the service, will call the Cognitive Services API, and it can do that by using a new URI, because Cognitive Services API is a REST API. For that, it will use URLs. And actually, before deep diving inside this, we'll go to the Microsoft Cognitive Services official website, here the Computer Vision API. And here inside this website, I can find all the API documentation and references to use the Microsoft Cognitive Services API. So here, Cognitive Services have let's say a list of APIs. The one we'll be using today is the Computer Vision API. So you see here, it provides some samples of pictures to be recognized. And if you go to the subscriptions here, you will be asked, because it's an API, so you will need to ask for authorization to use it, and that's using keys here. So you will need to ask for a key. So here we have a key for computer vision, which is now in preview. Then by having that key, you can go to this site here where you can analyze photos, and you can try the API. So for us, I'll go to back for Visual Studio, and here I have I get a key. So this is the key which I will use here, as mentioned here in the command. you should get a key in this URL, because this key might not be working anymore. So here we'll have the base URL which we'll use. Here it's api.projectoxford.ai. It uses the vision, it will analyze, then it will pass parameters, which are here two main parameters, which are visual features and details. So here for the visual features, we are providing the arguments that we want to get information about. So here I want to get a description, categories, tags, spaces, image type, color, and adult. In the details section, we are specifying celebrities. So if inside the image I have a picture for a celebrity, then the API will tell me who is this celebrity. After that, we have the two methods that will call the API. The first one is the analyze stream async, and the second one is analyze image URL. So let's start by this one because it's more simple. Here I'm using the HTTP client, and the HTTP client library was installed with the plugin that we have already installed, plugin.cognitive services. Here you see system.net.http. For that I can use HTTP client. I'll use HTTP client to pass request headers, which are the key for the API, and also we'll need to provide the URL for the image. Here I'm providing in this image, in this method, the image URL. I'll go to use that to put it inside my HTTP request. And here I'm specifying the content type to be JSON, because I want to get JSON from the server, not XML. Then I go to post my HTTP request. So I send the request to the server, to the URL, and embedding with it the string content, which contains our parameters, which are the URL. Then we go to get the response back from the Cognitive Services API server. We'll read that response here through using content.readString async. We'll try to know if the response is a success status code. That means analyzing the photo or the image or the video was done successfully. Then we'll try to deserialize that object into an image result. So here, because I'm getting JSON from the server, as I have here specified application.json, I will try to deserialize that JSON object into a .NET object. That .NET object is the image result, which corresponds to the JSON schema. And here I have created this image result. So you have it here inside the models folder. So here I have the image result. It's let's say a set of .NET objects that will try to convert the JSON object to .NET object. And here if we go to take a look at what the response looks like, we go here to the sample data, where I have here this sample JSON file, and here you see for each image we'll get information that that is a JSON file that looks like this one. So here I have the celebrities. It's telling if there is a celebrity in the picture. I have the is adult content, is racy content parameters, and here also we have tags to help me understand the picture, what is inside that picture, and captions which is like a phrase describing what the picture is. It's a description for the picture. Then here we can also detect the faces, the age and the gender of each person inside that image, and with some other options here, like the color, the dominant colors, and so on. So this JSON response was to be able to use this JSON, we have converted it inside an image result. So here, for example, because we have faces here, we have the equivalent of that faces in JSON, we have the equivalent in .NET. So let's look for faces here. We have this object, faces, and if I go to face here, let's look for face. So here I have, for each face I have an image and gender and face rectangle. If we go back to the JSON file, we see that each face has an image, a gender, and face rectangle. Face rectangle here have left, top, width, and height. If I go back here to look for what a face rectangle looks like, you see here I have left, top, width, and height. So that will be the equivalent of the JSON file in .NET. Let's come back to our service, and here after deserializing that object, we'll return it back to the calling method. So this is our analyze image using an URL. So here it will try to call the cognitive API services, providing it an image URL. But here, and we can also do images that are not only online, but images that are stored inside our device. For the pictures that we used the cam to take, or pictures that we already have them inside our local storage, like this one here. So for that case, we have the method analyze image stream async. Here it takes a stream which is the stream of the image or the video. Here we are working with images. So this is the stream of the image. We'll be using the same steps from creating the HTTP request, specifying the key API, and here specifying the stream content instead of the URL. And here the content type will be application/octet stream instead of application/JSON, because we are posting a stream, not JSON. We'll send that HTTP request to the server and we'll get a response. We'll check if it's analyzed successfully. If so, then we'll go to deserialize the JSON response to an image result object, and we'll return the result back to the caller. And you see here, it's this application or this sample code respects the MVVM design pattern, because here I have the models folder, I have the services, and also I have my view models. So if you take a look to the view models object, here it uses the iNotify property change to be able to post changes from the code to our user interface. And here inside this computer vision view model, here you see the API, we have using the API key to be passed to the computer vision service. And we have a couple of properties like the image result, which will be used to show the result coming from the server to be show it inside our user interface. Then we have the image URL, because here I can specify in this entry, I can specify an image URL from online. Then we have an error message, so in case that the API returns some exception or returns not successful operation, we can show that error message to the user. Then we have the is busy property, which will be used here, and each time I call the API by clicking here analyze image URL, you see here this activity indicator which tells me that it's doing some work in background. And here you see this is an example of the errors we can get. Here it tells me that this is an invalid image URL because here this URL is not online. For that I should be using, in this case, analyze image string instead of analyze image URL. And here of course we'll get the response back from the server. Let's continue with our code. So here take photo command will be bound to this blue button here. When clicking this button, I should be able to go open the camera and then selecting an image like this one, then hit OK. Then you see you have that image displayed here. So using the cross media .current object, which is coming from the xam.media.plugin, will help us to get this image and exactly get its stream that will be used later with our computer vision service. Remember this method analyze image stream that accepts a stream parameter. So here we have two buttons. The first one is take photo, will be bound to the take photo command. Then this second button is peek button, which will be bound to the peek photo command. So on each time I click the peek photo, this command will be executed. What this command does, it will use the local storage to get a photo from my device. So here the line of code that does that is the peek photo async that will give me a reference to the media file from which I can get the stream that again will be used later with the API. Here I have also this command called analyze image command, which will be bound to this button here. So each time I have an online URL, I'll use that online URL as specified in our actually we'll use that URL specified by the image URL property here to call the analyze image URL that will give us the image result to be displayed back to the user interface. With that also we have the second button for analyzing an image using a stream. Here it will use, instead of the image URL, it will use the image stream to call the analyze image stream async from our computer vision service. So those are the most important parts of our application. Then comes the views, which here the plugin.computer vision provides a simple view here, call it computer vision page, which provides this user interface. So if we take a look at this view, you see here I have the different parts of my application. Here I have the take photo button, this blue button here, then I have the peek photo button, the second one, and the image, and again all the other parts of this that makes this user interface. Here also of course I have the list view that will display the result coming from the service or from the API, which is here my faces list view. Here you see it will parse the image result.faces. Remember, the image result is the result from the web service. So we'll go to the faces, and inside that faces we can get information like the age, the gender of each person, and recognize it inside that image. So here, if we go back again to the computer vision.json, a sample JSON file, you see here the faces. Inside that object we have an age and gender properties. We have also other properties like the tags that will be displayed inside another inside a label actually. So here I have created a label which will display the tags, and because the tags is a list of tags, is a list of strings, then I have created this list of strings to one string converter, which is inside the converters folder here. This converter will try to simply put all these strings inside one string separated by a comma, so that we can write all of these as one sentence inside the label. So now after replacing this line of code by this one, main page equal new computer vision page, we'll get our application displaying this user interface, which of course works for Android, for Windows also, as you see here, and of course for Windows 8.1. So this is a sample application that you could use with any Xamarin Forms platform you are targeting. So I hope this plugin was helpful for you to build more intelligent applications using Xamarin Forms platform. So thank you.